Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Hello and welcome to a rather special time and a special day, just in iRacing, but here at the Weekend Warriors, presented by Ray Esports, because it's a rather special birthday, the 40th iteration of the Vrunoffs, at the 10th year anniversary of this marvelous series. We have got an epic broadcast coming up for you. First off, we're kicking things off with the Serbs, the SRFs, the Spec Racer Fords here from Okayama. A circuit which, well, dates back to 1990, no less, and was hosted Formula One in its heyday and was really completely unchanged. Up until now, iRacing's given it a good refresh. And later on, we've got the Formula 4 to take you to the track in, well, of course, you know it's coming. Rain, it's here. It's going to be the first big grid race on iRacing in the wet weather. Make sure you stick around for that one. But for now, Charles Michel, welcome along. Ooh, this is going to be a cracker, isn't it, this, my friend?
Yeah, it's it's obviously, as you said, this is the 40th iteration of this. 10 solid years of the Ray Esports, the Weekend Warriors. It's amazing. I mean, I've only been in iRacing for a half of that. So for these guys to have been out here doing this for this long is pretty incredible. You don't see a lot of leagues that have that kind of staying power. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this race. And I think this may be the first time that the Formula 4 grid is actually going to be bigger than the SRF grid. And the SRF grid's 40 plus today, so it's not small by any stretch of the imagination. So this is going to be a pretty special event with the 10th anniversary coinciding with the bringing of the rain in iRacing. So that's going to be pretty fantastic to watch.
Qualifying just ongoing right now. On board with the Altabino, the Brazilian, who's, well, had a bit of a turbulent season leading up to this one. You see the weather appearing on the right hand side there. 81 degrees Fahrenheit track temperature. It's a rather foggy day out there, but it's going to get, well, a bit later on. It's changing track conditions and such like. It's going to be so fascinating to watch that and see that how it develops throughout. And we've got so many newcomers as well. Rosarowsko being one of the standout names, currently in 11th overall right now, was running many of the returning favourites all here for this great run-up. I mean, that is one field stacked with some absolutely epic names, but provisionally it's an all-Brazilian front row lockout with Sabino and Castro.
Yeah, I mean, so the way the more things change, the more they stay the same, right? Castro obviously just fantastic season this year. Well deserved to get his championship. Tabino obviously setting really good pace, and yeah, this is the difference between iRacing before and iRacing after is you have 100% humidity, which means you get fog. So it's going to make it a little. It's going to look a little strange for the broadcast, but we're going to get through it, and we'll keep the cameras tight so we can get good views of all the action on the track. And so yeah, just can't wait to see it. The big, but like I said, big grid. Are some of our names. Guys that we see week in and week out, and then a few guys just coming out to play for the weekend. So should be pretty amazing.
And it's not just the honour of taking away this anniversary, race victory for each of the respective classes, Spec 1, Spec 2 and Masters. It's also up for grabs for some beautiful trophies thanks to the guys over at Sim Stickers in both the SRS and the Formula 4s as well. I just make things a little bit more interesting, Charles. Normally SRF Weekend Warriors always 40 minutes, but for tonight and tonight only, 10 minutes less, 30 minutes. That's interesting for me because it's some people, can hang it above the half an hour in terms of fuel saving and do this without a stop, potentially. But others quite often fall short of that. I think it's going to really play with a fair few drivers' minds, this one, how they attack this one, physically, literally, and also metaphorically and mentally.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, go back to the sim stickers. I did see those. League organizer Stevie Ray put a photo out there. They look fantastic. So that's a very, very cool prize to get for winning the race. And yeah, it's as we've seen during the course of the season is a lot. There's a few cars that are really, really good about stretching that fuel out to past the 30-minute mark. Jason Green comes to mind first and foremost. And a lot of these drivers like to jump in and take those pit stops early. So now they're going to have to just, stay out there and see if they can make it less. Because I feel pretty sure if we didn't change the fuel amounts, that means that should be a no-stop race for most everybody. So those that struggle with fuel saving might end up falling a little bit short.
Yes, they might. It'll be fascinating to see how this one plays out. Not long left in qualifying, short in qualifying for this evening as well. Both sessions will be 15 minutes in length, as opposed to the normal standard 20 minutes. So definitely hot on their heels. But Okayama, one of the classic circuits, been on the service an incredibly long time. But for me, one of the quintessentially great circuits. You have great racing around here. No matter what you seem to be in, and there's so many overtaking opportunities as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. This track is, as you said, one of the oldest ones out in iRacing, and there are some very good ones as we're watching Phil Berry down the straightaway into the hairpin. This is the first really good braking opportunity. There's a couple of lines you can take through here, and just get late on the brakes and take the inside and run deep and see if you can make the pass around. Likewise, as we get down this straight that takes us to the, technical section of the track, also another good heavy braking zone that you can make that move, as we see Barry looking, but deciding otherwise, and just kind of hanging back behind the 332 car. And see the 332 going wide there. I feel able to make the move around. So yeah, a couple of good spots as we just saw on the screen there. Able to get late on the brakes and make a good pass on the inside. And then we get into this little short straight and into a very, very technical section of track. It's just that left and right combination. It's so tricky to get it right every lap. Seems like you either just run wide or you'll be too shallow entry for that right-hander. And then a very tricky pit entry, which I don't think we'll need tonight, but you never know. It could trip some people up later on in the race.
Well, it's certainly going to trip people up, definitely in the Formula 4s. It's always a tricky entry in the dry, but in the wet as well.
Yeah.
That wicked Alabama laughter there. That says everything that you need to know about this one, folks. Top qualifiers at the moment, obviously, as we mentioned, Tabino and Castro still top of the pile in terms of the standings overall, and thus in Spec 1. Masters, it's York Marnie, but interestingly, sharing row 3 provisionally at the moment with him is Antonio Race, top 2 Masters drivers. Spec 2, that's looking like, well, again, sharing a row. Chris Montgomery and Caleb Pocock on row 6, 11th and 12th overall at the moment. Oh, this is shaping up to be a lovely, lovely little situation. Plenty of battles afoot. As always, good morning to many of our Australians who if you're brand new to the series, welcome along. Must watch absolute cracking racing week in, week out. But we have a bit of an Australian contingent to get up literally at the crack of dawn, 5 o'clock in the morning, come race with us every single week. Phil Berry, Brad Cathcart and Tom Gradwell, good morning to you guys on the opposite side of the world, and your commitment to this series, always an absolute pleasure to see. But not too far away now from qualifying coming towards an end, and well, the check flag is out, Charles, and well, here we go. We get into the business end of things.
Yeah, absolutely. Good run by Jason Perry up in P4. He's had some good races as of late, and that's a really good qualifying result for him. So I guess we will mention the fact that we don't have our normal color coding here for this event, since it's the week 13, but we can mention the 3 classes of drivers that we have out here. So basically, it's the numbers will tell you the story. If it's anything below, I believe, number 200, that's going to be a Spec 1 car, which is basically 3K iRating and up. Anything between, I think, 200 and 999 is Spec 2. I'm sorry, about 899, excuse me, 899 is Spec 2. So that's 3K iRating below. And then the 900s are for the Masters class. So those are our drivers that are age 55 and older. And I believe, from what I heard from Stevie, that will be changing as of next season. And it will be any driver that was already a Master will remain a Master. But any new drivers coming into the series, Masters class will be designated as 60 years of age or older.
Yes, we shake things up a little bit, that's for sure, and definitely I'm sure bring some new challenges to some of our drivers and such like. But not too far from the things we're heading through now, just waiting for session to roll over, and then we can head across and form up the grid here from Okayama. Go as it flickers across. There we go, we can everyone's take to the grid. Rolling starters ever here in the Weekend Warriors. Let's take you through your grid for this evening. First race, get the SRFs, and there we go. Oh, we've got a nice short start as well to boot. So let's get a wiggle on with these guys. Yatabino on pole with Dudu Castro joining him on the front row. Yang Ji Lin, driver who won the iRacing official SCCA runoffs earlier this year in every single category. Watch out for him. He starts on the second row with Jason Perry, York Marnie and Antonio Race, and all Masters row 3. Row 4, Bobby West and Evandro Dantas, with Green and Simpkins rounding out the top 10. Richard Kabanka starts 11th with Chris Montgomery just behind him. Caleb Pocock and Wilson I need to get this one out. Bruiser Roscoe.
That's
far easier when you slow it down. But what a name, what a name. Wilson Garcia, Roscoe. Jeff Jacobson and Andrew Bradshaw take up row 8 with Overstreet and Berry on row 9. The top 20 in row 10 is Carblow and Mitchell, with Brewster and McCain behind them on row 11. There's Cathcart and Gradwell, the all-Aussie Masters row, with Wobble and Jackson just behind them, and Nunez and Lynn make up row 40. Row 15 and top 30 is Aaron Vogley and Andrew Lebb. Jeff Cantor and Paul Godden on row 16, row 17, Healy and Laurie. Dumont and Wilson, the all-Canadian row there. That'll keep producer Josh happy. Although a little bit further down that he would have liked them. Then we've got Pellegrini and Fabini. Simon Mayer in 39th with Ray and Ellis not making the start. So just the 39 here, Charles.
That's all, just 39. Bigger than most every grid that's in the official series in iRacing, but it's a little small for us. But I think this because we've got a few drivers deciding to skip this and get a few more laps of practice in the Formula Ford for the next race. That's all well and good. So 30 minutes of hard racing. Let's see how this all shakes out.
Yes. Get ready for this one, folks. It's going to be an absolute cracker. That is for sure. Safety car pulling in now. Let's get ready to go racing for the first time this evening. Long anticipated wait here. The run down to the line. Castro controlling the pace of Tabino as we are green and we are racing. Here we go, folks. 3 wide, even a 4 wide in the background. The run down to turn 1, bit of contact there. Dantas, who's up 3 places off the start already, the Brazilian, before he even reached turn 1, making a bit of contact there. Lynn dropping down a couple, Perry moving up at the front. Top 2 still remain unchanged at the moment. As Jeff Jason getting a poor start there. He's dropped down 3, down to 18. Phil, and here we go. There's the big one. There's the big one, Phil Berry. I think that's those. Dantas caught up in it, cars scattered around. Oh, there's still more spinners as they try to miss the wreck of further cars.
Oh, wow. We had such a good start. I was going to say that it amazes me how we can go 4 wide into turn 1 on cold tires and everybody come out unscathed. But you just saw that little SS section there with cold tires that just one person got crossed up and brought several more with them into the pits, unfortunately. And I believe it was Yangshi Lin.
Yes, well spotted. He's been caught up in it. Well, that's absolutely gutted for him and his chances of taking a clean sweep tonight. But top 3, well, Castro's got ahead of Tabino, though. Well, it was all going on. Perry's still in there. Marnie just trying to lose a bit of touch, but here we go. I'm going to replay what happened at the start, Charles.
Yeah, here we go. We're getting down here. And just like I said, it was, pretty clean through turn 1. And then somebody got crossed up on the curbs there in that little SS section. It looks like Dantas, Lynn was involved in it. And if I was to tell you that at the end of lap 1, the bottom 3 cars after the race start was Dantas, Christian Kabanka, and Yangshi Lin, you knew something bad happened.
Just nowhere to go there, and I didn't quite catch up. I think it might have been Jim Brewster who collected Lynn on the way through there as his car was spewed out across the track, practically projectile vomited by the tyre barrier. But what that's meant now is we've got a bit of a breakaway for top 3 of Castro, Tabino and Perry. Marnie, Bobby West and Antonio Race, you can just see that. They've got Jason Green as well to boot with them, leading the charge to try and keep up. As you see just through the fog here, it's practically like pea soup out there at the moment. But it's still making perhaps entertaining racing between a lot of them as we head down into the hairpin the second time this evening. And that's going to be a real interesting point, as always, isn't it, Charles? That part of the track, always causing drama and excitement.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's those 2 hard-braking zones just really ends up causing lots of passing opportunities and sometimes some incidents as well.
See how Pellegrini, so really shaking things up in the midfield. Yeah, Pellegrini, he's up 22 spots already into 15, so he was able to make hay while the sun was shining. Brewster up 9, McCain up 11. This whole gaggle around here made real progress. Stephen Mitchell in with this group on board with Pellegrini. That's Tom Bradwell in front of us. He made up, well, a rather measly 10 in comparison to Pellegrini, but even so, the 909, they're a little bit wide off the final corner. But could be losing almost 10 spots, meaning only 9 as here comes the Brazilian. The slide at the inside, beautifully done on the brakes there. Textbook move into the first corner, the aptly named first corner. So, well, how many more positions can the Brazilian climb to 41?
Yeah, he's having a good run so far. Ooh, a little wide there.
That's going to allow Grand Watchers to come back at him as we've got another view of exactly how things kicked off. So Dantas, he made that brilliant start. Oh, he just closed the gap a little bit. It's so easy just to try and, you know, just straighten the car up. Not realising how little room you're giving to the car on the inside, which was Lynn, who had full right to keep his nose in there. And, well, in the end, just the casualty. Kurt Nunes, you see in the background there, just going for a bit of a move over the 244 machine. That's Lynn. And that's going to get done. Is it? Oh, a bit of a scary moment on the brakes. That's Aaron Vogele just getting it stopped in time. Going for the modified look as, oh, they all shuffle around there. Everyone's starting to lock up and struggle a little bit as, oh, is that Brad Cathcart going very slowly?
It does appear to be. Yeah, it's just Lynn's, I think, Nunes just kind of working his way through some damaged cars there. Did a good job not to get collected or to collect anybody, as we see these guys just trying to hold on for as long as they can out there with their damaged race cars.
Right, so the reason why is because Cathcart, Berry, and Roscoe have all had a bit of a coming together, and that's what shuffled them further down through the pack and into this group. As someone darting into the pits there. I think it was Favini. Yes, it was the Swede heading across into pit road right now. As we're on to lap 4 here. Still all to play for.
Yeah, still early. Yes, just 24 minutes left in this race, so it's a matter of just how long can you hang on. You know, at some point, you know, with the pace that Cathcart's running, it might be just better just come in and get the fast repair and get back out and see if he can just make up some positions on some of these cars that stay out.
What you say about holding on, that brief on board we had with Cathcart is bonnet there, just quivering, just barely holding on. Meanwhile, up front is West going for the move, and he's going to get it done on Marnie, and Race trying to follow it through, can't quite get it done. Green now up onto this, well, best of the rest pack that's pretty much evolving, because the lead group, they are nearly 2 seconds clear of 4th place, which is now Bobby West, as Marnie demoted down one on board with Green. That's into the most technical part of the circuit for me. This is the tricky part. It's getting this corner right here, Mike Knight.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's just, you know, these 2 corners is always just very difficult to get right, lap in and lap out. Seems like you're either because you feel like you're just too slow coming out of that left-hander to get set up for the right-hander. But if you just take too much through it, you just end up kind of washing out through the corner, and you have to kind of reset yourself. So it's very difficult to just really get the handle on that set of corners there.
To get it done though, but for how much longer? Because West, despite him being in front and in charge of this group, under mounting pressure from Marnie behind him, how much longer can the Brit hold on against the Swiss driver that's come into this one after an absolutely dominating season in, well, not just the SRS but also the Formula Fords, and the SRS winning every round but one, and also finishing on the podium overall once this season was Marnie. On board with him. Interestingly, just backing out of it. Oh, and a big blink from West. Yeah. At least that's as being my end. And that is a real squeaky bum time, as we call it in the UK, because you don't know where are they going to reappear, and am I going to be inside them?
Yeah, I think in the US at least I would say increase of the pucker factor. So yeah, it's, you know, I saw him blinking a couple times even before that shot that we had from Monty's onboard. It's so difficult to race around that, around a car that's blinking in and out, because you're right, you don't know where they're going to show back up, and the way iRacing's collision system works, I see green coming into the pits.
There we go, Jason. Yeah. Wow. As we say every week, if anyone could do, Jason Green can. Maybe feeling like he's just held up a little bit behind that group.
Yeah,
electing to dive in very early on for him. That's going to be interesting to see how he plays this one. Interestingly, Antonio Racing, the fastest Sector 1 of anyone on the previous lap, he did that. So just heading through Sector 1 right now. There he is, the Portuguese driver. Himself and Yormani. Well, it's always been tough racing between the pair of them. Always friendly, always competitive. And I feel it's going to be no different tonight. Marnie a little bit slow off the corner. Race really getting some real pace off of outward, but just can't seem to convert it because then Marnie just seems to come back out of him. I mean, he is being helped by that slipstream from West in front of him.
Yeah, he had a really good run out of that, and it seems like maybe the outside line's working pretty well for him to keep his momentum up as he's looking to make a move against West. And not anything there just yet, but I think he's kind of just letting West know that, hey, I might be a little bit faster than you. So if I come around, just kind of be prepared for it as he's looking to the inside here to make this move.
Here we go, Charles. Here we go up the inside. If West can hang it on, he'll be okay though into Hobbs, but can't keep the car alongside. And at the second time of asking, Marnie back in front and back in charge of this group, as that looks like West is bailing.
Yep.
He's heading to pit road. Right. What was 4, now down to 2. Chris Montgomery just following him in behind. I tell you what, full commitment there from West, almost grazing the barrier on the inside as he charged down pit road.
I think what this tells me with Green and West coming in is they don't think they can make it without stopping. So it's I seem like I remember seeing something in the notes, maybe that there's a you might not need to take fuel, but you at least have to make the pit stop. So maybe they're just taking the drive through and coming back out. I don't know. We have to go back and look. I think that's what it looks like to me. So we'll see how this all plays out, because it's obviously Green and West, they took their lap pit times were 29 and 30 seconds. So definitely looks like they are at least stopping for something. I'm trying to find them on timing and scoring.
It's
here.
Always like at the cut-off at the best of times, isn't it?
Yeah.
We run the 40-minute races here in the Weekend Warriors. So, and it's one of those circuits. It is a real challenge to fuel save large amounts around here. It's not impossible, but you are a full throttle for quite a bit of it. It's a little bit of a deceptive circuit, that's for sure. And I tell you what, race is really caught up instantly onto the back of Marnie as we look further down through the field. That is McCain getting in front of Caleb Pocock there, or is he as he tries to hold it right around the outside. Oh, and there's contact.
Touch.
That's going to elbow out, but McCain and Pocock, well, in 7th there. On board with Brewster now. He's gone to the front row seat to this. McCain says, I've had enough of this. He bails down pit road. Brewster carries on. Mitchell following through right behind them, and Pellegrini heads in. He's up 26 spots since the start. Yeah, having started 37th right at the back.
Yeah, well, I'm going to say this as we see him, and is that like just a drive through, or is there? No, there's a little bit of stop there. So I'm going to say this. We talk about Jason Green and his fuel strategies week in and week out. How he seems like he's always right on the number. Every week as far as fueling. So if he's the first one to come in and stop, then I think everybody's going to have to come in and stop. I don't think there's anybody that's going to be able to stay out for the entire 30 minutes.
That undercut has worked a treat for him, because he has jumped Marnie, Race and West. And they're all queued up behind poor Tom Gradwell. He's lying 3rd in Masters at the moment. That figure a little bit distorted because he is yet to stop so far. There is Kurt Nunes a little further down. He's got a stack behind him. Jason and Aaron Vogelay are all following in tow. Well, that's that group I was just talking about. Green leading it. And wow, trying to plug that gap somewhat that they had of about 2.5, 3 seconds nearly to our top 3 of Castro, Tabino and Perry, who are really, I tell you what, they working together and really pulling off some cracking pace here, no less, between those guys. Best laps all near identical, 1:41.07 for Castro, then 08 for Tabino and Perry. contrast to the group behind them, it was obviously West, Green, Race, and Marnie. It was Marnie in again. Marnie's in.
And had just set the fastest lap of the race, I believe, and has to come back in. And what could this be?
I don't know, because he didn't get. I mean, surely it can't be instant limits. I mean, no, he's not driving through, so it's not that. Oh, okay, right, drama here. Wow, the man who was so dominant in the regular season, not coming together here for him in the runoffs. And that could look like we're going to have a new victor here today.
The only thing I can think of is so that was a 16-second stop. Could he have gotten a 15-second penalty on pit exit for speeding?
Oh, that's a really good point. Just a little bit too excited. Could see Green coming down pit road and just got off, just got on the gas a little bit too soon. Oh, no. That looks like it's all falling apart for him right now. There's producer Josh just trying to find us where he's left the pit lane. There's our lead group: Castro, Tabino, Perry. So here's his first pit entrance we're going to see. Pulls across. So Race follows him in as well. A little bit skirty there on entry. Got away with it though. Got away with it. Go. So slow down, okay. We're all right for that one. So it's got to be on pit exit, surely, hasn't it? If he's, like you say, Charles, if he's picked anything up at all. Or, no, look, he's just driven straight down pit road, and that's why he didn't stop. And Race did the same as well, so it looks like he could be falling foul of exactly the same situation.
Yeah, not really sure about that. We may have to get some clarification on that after the race. So yeah, definitely a little strange. And like I said, maybe they thought that they could just do the drive-through. That counts as their pit stop, and then realize they weren't going to have enough fuel to make it to the end. And so Monty comes back in, tops up, and goes back out. I don't know. We'll catch them, maybe one of these guys after the race, and see if we can figure out what's going on.
Let's see there at Lynn in a battle was Carvalho, Bradshaw, Walbot, Marnie right on the back of them, looking to dispatch them with that usual Swiss precision and efficiency that is a countryman known for, and well, so is Marnie in this series. So that is Pellegrini going for a move there on Simpkins right round the outside, down at the hairpin. I tell you what, if you can pull this one up, he can keep his nose in there, he'll be okay for it, and I think he's going to get this done. The Brazilian into Piper and then Revolver, a place where you don't tend to see too many overtakes, and that's going to give him the inside. Oh, wow. Beautiful. Shuts the door on corner exit, but I tell you what, here comes the Flying Dutchman. That is who Simpkins says, no, you're not having that place so easy from me. Tries to push Pellegrini back out wide, but Pellegrini still keeping his front end just in there. Oh, the half slide from Simpkins brings it all to an end.
That was a great battle, though. They kept their cars off of each other, but side by side. And you're right. That's those two corners is not necessarily where you see passes. But Pellegrini did a great job, giving a little slob job on corner exit, and made the move. Simpkins tried to come back, just couldn't hold the corner there, but great driving by both drivers.
See, so our drivers right there. That was Tom Gradwell even. Gone Tradwell. That's my brain was trying to eject through my mouth there. Yeah, just exiting pit lane. Going to come out right behind those guys. Is that a change for position? Yes, it is. That is Antonio Race now. Ahead of Bobby West saying, well, do you know what, Bobby? You're not going to have a go at Jason Green. Let me have a go. I'm all over this. Green will be desperate for him not to attack him. He wants to close that gap down to our lead free after the pit stops. And well, we're right down to the business end. I mean, it doesn't feel like it because we're used to the usual 40 minutes, but we're 18 and a half minutes out of the 30 here, Charles. There's some different psychology, this one. You've got to be much more bolder. And it's amazing how much that 10-minute reduction is. Well, Perry is now ahead of Tabino up front in that lead group, changing around ever so slightly as they've lost a little bit of time to Castro in doing so as well. Well, they've been scrapping away.
Yes, Perry's having a great run up to P2. Had a good qualifying and has solidified his position now. Is looking to see if he can track down Castro. Of course, they lost a little bit of time with the side-by-side battling, but it's not far enough. I think he should be able to get this draft on these two straightaways and claw back quite a bit, if not all that time that he lost.
This is where Perry got it done, and guess where it is? It's down into the hairpin, onto the brakes, the big send. Oh, there you go, from the big Brit up the inside. Lovely, lovely little move there. Tabino just backing out of it, not staying alongside at all, like we saw previously. I tell you what, Jason Perry, he's never quite run to the front. He's always the bridesmaid, never the bride. So often in this series, and I tell you what, if you can pull that one off tonight, I'll be absolutely spectacular. But we're still plenty of racing to go as we approach the 10-minute remaining mark. And that is Pocock embroiled in battle royale with McCain, and there's Pellegrini involved who's heading to that inside. We're going to go free wide, are we? They think about it. Pellegrini dips into the slipstream of McCain, trying to follow through on this inside. But what's he going to do? Pocock stuck on the outside on the 866 machine, and here comes Pellegrini to drive off the corner, but Pocock just keeping his nose in back inside. Pellegrini could carry the momentum off the corner exit here. It's role reversal to what we saw last time around against Simpkins, who's back into this fight. He's right up behind them. He wants a piece of the action. There's going to be Pellegrini, and Pocock could lose a couple of places here as Simpkins wants to follow through with Pellegrini, but he can't get it done.
Hats off to Pellegrini. So a couple of laps ago, he works the inside and makes that pass on those two corners. This time he works it on the outside and makes a pass through those two corners. That's just really, really fantastic driving out of Pellegrini.
Lovely stuff from him. Right, Alan McCain, it's your turn to lead this group. What have you got? Can you pull everyone away from the... Wow. The battle that's been ensuing, although running a bit wide like that, that's not going to help. And that's going to give Pellegrini a chance to strike. He can sense a bit of nervousness right now from the Northern Irish driver. We look back from McCain. Here comes Pellegrini, and this feels like when, not if, and he's already heading up the inside, down into Atwood.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's once McCain went wide, he's like, okay, let me just bide my time and set this up, and that's exactly what he did. Got a good run through the S's and was able to make the move to the inside in the hairpin. It was just another great move by Pellegrini.
There we go. Job done. Simpkins desperate to sound to the coattails of Pellegrini, though. I tell you what, McCain, he's not giving this one up easy, though, isn't he? Look, just trying to keep alongside. Will he do it enough? Yes, he will. Yes, he will. And Simpkins, the slight slide. The twitch, and that's going to compromise him because Pocock now is going to send it right around the outside in deep, gets the move done on Simpkins as they battle it out. Wow, we're still not done with that McCain and Pellegrini battle as they still remain side by side, practically holding hands as they navigate Okayama.
Yeah, and it's just letting those cars behind just get that much closer, and it's going to just stack everybody up here. And so people will start looking, as we saw Simpkins, wanted to follow Pellegrini in there, try to switch lanes through the corner, just couldn't quite hold it, and end up losing the spot to Pocock as they're now Pellegrini's trying to break the draft down the front straight. Ooh, that was very close between McCain and Pocock there as he was trying to get back to the outside there to open the corner.
Well, we're down to 7 minutes remaining here, Charles. That is our lead group. That is Tabino back ahead of Perry. And, well, it's almost the favour return. Oh, the little jinx there just allowed Perry to come back onto the racing line. But Tabino just up the inside. Job done. And it's a carbon copy, but roles reversed of what we saw when these two exchanged places previously, but a few laps ago.
Yeah, here come the leaders into the pits now.
Right, they need to absolutely nail this one. Castro, Tabino, and Perry. This could be who comes out victorious tonight and walks away with one of those beautiful Sim Stickers trophies for the win in Spec 1 and overall. Your leader in Masters, incidentally, that's Antonio Race. Chris Montgomery, we haven't mentioned you tonight, but you're leading Spec 2, currently lying 7th overall. And okay, right, no, they just navigated them.
They just, yep. They just did the drive-through, said we've got enough fuel. We think we can make it to the end without stopping to take a splash.
Now, where is Jason Green? There he is in the background, and he's not going to be close enough, Charles. It's 3.1 seconds, the gap. And we've got, well, 5.5 minutes remaining. I mean, that is nearly a second a minute. They've got to try and make up realistically, and I just can't see. Well, I mean, you never say never in this series, but that's going to be tight. I mean, meanwhile, this lot, they're all still going at it. This may as well be for the final lap for the victory. You'd never expect this to be all over 12th place.
Yeah, that group that's got Green, Race, and West. That's what they're hoping the lead pack is going to do, is just start battling side by side for that top spot or even P2. And that's going to allow them to make up time that much quicker and maybe draw them up to that lead group so they can battle for the win at the end of the race.
Well, with Simpkins, as he is side by side with Andrew Love, who's now involved in the fight. Pellegrini's starting to check out. He's getting away from this group as Pocock can't make advances onto McCain, who we look back from currently. Pellegrini, that's Jim Brewster inviting him. Right, he's another one joining in the fight as well, for good measure. Yeah, just keep adding more and more cars.
Yeah,
Pellegrini's going to, well, there you go. That's up the inside on Brewster, who that's going to let him through relatively easily, but I'm sure that's just purely down to the fact that he's a wily old fox. He's going to lose time. Simon Mayer into the pit. Wilson Brzarosco, he is yet to stop, currently lying in 10th, so he's going to drop from that place. So this group are going to gain another set of places, and this all of a sudden became a bit more of a battle of who's going to finish inside the top 10 and who isn't. Love's bailed from that group. He's headed down pit road.
Yeah, so yeah, I think him and Mayer
are
both.
There's Pocock.
Pocock around. So yeah, I think Mayer and Love had to do their drive-through to satisfy the requirements for the race. So they're back out on the track now. You see Love getting passed by Nunez.
Pocock got it up and running quite quickly though, and he remained on the back end of that group, which was Tom Gradwell who had that honour originally. However, that's all shuffled around a little bit more. So, yeah, that's still not out of the woods whatsoever. But not out of the fight is he at all. Oh yeah, Caleb Pocock in the 866 machine. So, Montgomery, he's looking really comfortable for that win in Spec 2, 7th overall. Antonio Race looking comfortable for the win in Masters. He is 4th overall. As long as he doesn't come off the track, getting stuck into a battle, if that comes down to a fight for the victory, we've got 2.5 minutes remaining. It's 2.5 seconds the gap between Perry, Race and Green and West. So Race, Green and West against Perry, Tabino and Castro, who leads this one and is opening up a gap. It's 1.5 seconds. And they're starting to space out, and that's the worrying part right now for that lead group. And, well, Castro looking like he's going to walk away with a victory for this one. He's been on a rich reign of form towards the end of the regular season, winning 4 in a row. Make it 5 in a row to round out the season.
Yeah, he's having a good run. Yeah, Perry's basically lost the draft to the front to Tabino, who I think's lost the draft to Castro. He's a little bit closer. So now Perry's really got to be watching his mirrors because he's still got that 3-car pack with Race, Green, and West that are still running together, and they're going to end up making up quite a bit of time on him. I don't know if they've got enough time to catch him, but they're definitely going to tighten that gap.
trying to think. It's on the grasp on it, aren't they?
It's going to be
That's
white
meanwhile,
flag next time.
I think it's got to be. I think it's got to be. This lot, ding ding round. Well, it's 17 laps, so that must be round 17, surely. And it's also 3-1 in the background there between Gradwell, Mitchell, Pocock. Which I think is. Oh, no. Oh, and further contact. And, well, they're going to come out right into this group, and Pocock gains a couple of more places that he lost out. Oh, no, that's off the track. That's a big one. That's Gradwell around.
Yeah, I'm not even sure how that happens. Maybe Gradwell, I'm not sure. I had to get a replay on that one. But yeah, that's McCain battle with, who was it? Simpkins. Just, oh no, that's just wrecking everywhere now.
They're all at it. It's all come to light. Marnie involved. Gradwell, you do have to wonder whether he had a bit of damage to the car. As the fog lifting and clearing and showing how much drama and chaos that we're having on these final laps here from Okayama. First race of the evening. Marnie just having a little bit of a look, having that bit of a lunge up the inside there. And he just caught up, nowhere to go.
Yeah, just nowhere to go there. Innocent bystander.
Yes. Yes, right. So, what have we got now? This is what happened with Gradwell. I mean, yes, he's alongside Simpkins, isn't he? They just converge on one another. Oh, yeah, they did.
Yep.
They did indeed. Back to live though, and it's green versus race here on this final. Are we on the white flag? I think it's very, very close indeed. If it was, we'll get confirmation. Could explain what these two absolutely scrambling. Yeah, checker flag out. So this is it, all or nothing. It may as well be for the victory. Well, the way they're scrapping at it. So Castro's going to win it. There you go. Tabino second, but we're looking in the background as they're 3 wide here. They dip back down to 2, and is it Jason Green who's going to pick up the 4th place as they cross the line? Yes, he is. Race finishes 5th, and West in the end has to settle for 6th. It's a cross line because Megan Overstreet, who I haven't even mentioned her name once since the grid this evening.
Yeah. That was a great finish by those 3. Yeah, so congrats again to Dudu Castro, just closing out the season in style, getting the runoffs victory, and a very nice Sim Stickers trophy coming his way.
And also Antonio Race picking up victory in Masters, and Jim. No. Jim Bruce is second in class. It's Chris Montgomery picks up Spec 2.
Yep.
Victory. So congratulations to those 3 drivers. Those class victories. Well, that was drama filled, and we haven't even thrown the weather into the mix yet.
Nope.
And we've got an extra 10 minutes coming up for you in the Formula Ford very shortly. Once we've got everyone across the line, speak to a couple of the drivers and get taken their thoughts from race 1 in the evening here in the Spec Racer Ford. I think Lynn's going to the honour of being the last driver across the line. Yep, there goes the American. Right, and with everyone across the line, so take you through some classified results here from Okayama. Deep breath. Here we go. So Dudu Castro clinching that victory. Second, Tabino, his fellow countryman in a second. Perry only good enough for 3rd in the end, but I'm sure he's going to be happy with that one. Jason Green finishing 4th. It was then Antonio Race in 5th, and that winner in Masters. West 6th. Overstreet, who was up 10 places, into 7th. Montgomery 8th overall, and you win it in Spec 2. Pellegrini 9th. Jim Brewster running out the top 10. And it was Caleb Pocock, but Pellegrini again, highest position climb up 28, incredibly. Come home 9th. Brewster's mission running at the top 10. There was Pocock, Simpkins, Mitchell, Mayer, Babini, Kabanka, who had a bit of an eventual race, finished 17th there, so 16th. was Roscoe 17th on his debut. Great to see that one. Bogley, Berry, and Cantor running out his top 20. Then was Jackson, DeMont, Love, Nunez, Bradshaw, Healy, Cathcart, Jacobson, Godden, who Paul Godden, of course, should really give him more of a mention. Obviously, the supplier of the beautiful trophies that are heading to our winning drivers. McCain running out the top 30. Then it was Carvalho, Gradwell, Wilson, of course, on that late incident with McCain. Hence why they're so far down. Wilson, Walbot, Lynn, last driver on the lead lap. Then into retirement. Marnie lost him on lap 16. Laurie, lap 5. Lap 2 was Dantas. The opening lap, Lynn, with Ray and Ellis not taking the start. Some quick chat to some of our drivers. First up, it's our winner in Masters, Antonio Race. Congratulations.
Hello, guys. Hello.
That was a little bit crazy, that one, my friend, wasn't it? I mean, it's amazing what difference it made having 10 minutes less than you normally do.
Yeah, well, it was... I don't know what you're talking about. 10 minutes? What is that? Sorry.
A shorter race length. So it was 30 minutes rather than 40 normally.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's different. Yeah. We only have a 30 minutes race without a pit stop, just with a go through. It's kind of a different way of racing, I think. It's more funny. I like both of them. Let's say like that. It's just different.
And the race was largely about the battle between yourself, Jason Green, and Bobby West. I mean, how did you try and work that one? Were you trying to make sure you kept someone behind you, or were you trying to get that 4th place away from Jason Green?
Yeah, I was trying to get as much as I could, but it didn't work well on the last few corners, so I have to keep up behind Jason.
No worries. Well, Antonio, congratulations.
Thank you.
Doing the Formula Fords?
Yes, sure.
Good luck for those.
Thank you.
Antonio
Thank you,
Race.
guys. Yeah,
Have
a nice
Masters.
Sunday.
And you. Charles, I want Caleb Pocock for you.
Yeah, Caleb Pocock winning Spec 2 today with a P11 overall. Caleb, you had a busy race today.
Yeah, did I win? I thought Chris won Spec 2.
Oh no, that's right. You're right. You're correct. You're 2nd place in Spec 2. Yeah, just
Right.
just a few spots behind Chris.
Yeah, that was I made a couple big mistakes, but I don't think I would have caught Chris anyway. But that was a fun battle with that big group at the end.
Yeah, I think we focused on that probably more than anything else. Is the battle with you, McCain, Simpkins, Pellegrini. Just seemed like he was just trying to carve his way through everybody. But yeah, it was nip and tuck the entire it looked like the entire second half of the race.
Yeah, pretty much the whole second half. Once I got out of the pits, it was just all of us fighting and swapping positions, leapfrogging each other. It was a ton of fun.
There you go.
And
So
then,
yep,
I got lucky in turn 1 when the dirt kicked me back straight because I made that mistake and spun going in there.
yeah, we caught that also. So basically, kind of went from toward the front of that little group to the back of that group, but still we're in there. We're able to continue the fight.
Yep, yeah, I got lucky with those guys getting into each other and gave me a chance to catch back up, so it was fun. It could have been a better race, but like I said, I don't think I was going to catch Chris for the win anyway.
Are we going to see you in the Formula Ford race coming up?
Yep. Well, I just spun right now trying to do 2 things.
Well, we'll let you get to it. Congratulations, Caleb. We'll see you soon. All right.
Thank you.
We've got just enough time for Jim Brewster to bring us with some for insight and wisdom and knowledge. How that went down.
It was excellent. If we stayed clean, we all been thinking about how crazy this wet rain race is, and we've been practicing rain, and so the surf felt, fairly sane compared to it was dry. But anyway, just try to stay clean all race, and then figure out when to do my pit stop. But it was fun. I had some good race on that race with Caleb Pocock. We had some good running and ran with the McCain for a while.
Yes, we were just saying. Charles was saying to Caleb. we seemed to feature that more than what was going up front. It was absolutely a brilliant battle. Just really quickly, then we're a little short on time.
Yeah.
Try and
Anyway,
put some words into that one. I mean, wow, that was wild, even by Weekend Warriors standards.
well, this is going to be really wild in the rain, so hold on to your hats, grab onto your seat. It's going to be good. Anyway, say hi to my sister Tam, and we'll see you guys after the rain race. Hopefully I'll be on the podium again, but I don't know. We got 60 drivers. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun indeed. Congratulations, Jim Brewster getting on the podium there in the in the Masters category. But we're going to head to a quick break while we transition from one session to the other. Coming up on the other side, big grid, rain, Formula Fords. This is all you need to know. Buckle up. It's going to be epic. See you shortly.
Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Welcome back after that quick hiatus. And now it's time, folks. The one that we've all come to witness. The first ever big grid race on iRacing in the wet weather. Formula Ford here from Okayama. Wow, get buckled up, get your coat on. And yeah, well, probably a hat as well to boot. It's going to be wild. It's going to be wet. It's going to be crazy. And, well, that's just qualifying alone, I think, Charles Michel, looking at things. Some great new names that I've not seen before. Oscar Hardwick, brand new name to us. He's top of the time machines. He's on provisional pole in the 49 machine.
Yep, he is indeed. And then we've got names that we are familiar with. Yangshi Lin, Aeronam, Zhao Tabino, Michael McConnell, Dudu Castro. It's going to be a pretty interesting race, as you said. First big grid, full stack of Formula Fords here in the wet at Okayama, and so we'll do our best to try and figure out how to properly talk about it. I think is going to be the thing, because it's new to us as well, so. There's a little bit of learning curve involved, but it's going to be fun, and it's going to be fun to watch these drivers and how they approach driving in the rain versus driving in the dry.
So it's chopping and changing around a little bit. So Zachary Rivard, another new name to ourselves here. They temporarily picked provisional pole, then Lynn, and then Oscar Hardwick said, no, lads, I'm having it back off a lot of you. Julian Ditchburn, another new name to us. I tell you what, look at that. 3 brand new names in the top 4 alone. Welcome along to so go on, sorry, Charles.
No, that's okay. I was just going to throw this out. I know who Zachary Rivard is. So Zach is a real life Formula Ford driver. And he also ran in the Ray Esports unofficial SCCA series this past season, which I had the fortune to call with Ron Mons and Josh, who's always seemingly there to run the board for us. So he is very, very good. He won the championship in Formula Ford, and in the week 13 runoffs for that, he swept. He won all 3 series: Spec Racer, MX5, and Formula Ford. So, is that right? No. Oh, I'm sorry. I just gave him more credit than he deserved. But no, he is a real life Formula 4 driver. So he's very, very adept at this car. And every time he's out there on the track, he is just amazing to watch how quick he is.
Not too long left in qualifying here. We've got only a couple of minutes left on the clock, and just a rundown of the format. I've got 15 minutes open qualifying. You see going in the background right now. Then we're going to head across into 40 minutes of racing. A trip into the unknown, a real discovery voyage here in Okayama. And then we get to find out who is going to be victorious come the end of those 40 minutes. There's going to be a pit stop involved for the drivers. No questions asked on that one. Oh, I mean, it comes to something when you have someone like vRunoffs when the 7.5k iRacing, 14th in qualifying.
That is kind of odd.
Well,
So it's
especially just to build up the pressure, you know, and the underachieving of the guy. I mean, absolutely a lovely guy, a real diehard of the Weekend Warrior series. Has 7 SRF championships to his name. You know, the reigning champ. You know, the person with the most amount of championships to his name. The Lewis Hamilton, dare we say, of the Weekend Warriors. I'm sorry, I'm piling the pressure on you here, but I'm sure he won't mind. He's always so just nonchalant about everything. Yeah, I only brought the car 5 minutes ago on the track, and there he is normally, you know, popping in, you know, fastest lap after fastest lap. A little bit, well, there you go. vRunoffs, 2 fingers up to me, onto the front row with Hardwick. Good to see. He's just getting to grips with the rain. He's probably never tried it before, knowing him.
Yeah, he may have just said, you know what, I'll save it for practice and qualifying before the race, and we'll see how it all works out. And you know, as you can see, you're going to see this a lot during the course of this, how the car just kind of, you'll hydroplane a bit and kind of skip over these puddles, and just watch the cars kind of dance a little more than they're used to. So it's going to make things very interesting to watch during this race.
There's a new pole sitter as well, Hardwick, who's done dusty qualifying. Lynn has gone faster with a 1:43.95, nearly half a second faster than anyone else around there. So it's going to rain all race along. I'm looking at the weather radar. Get that right in a minute, and I can tell you that this weather front's moving in constantly. It's going to be raining all race long, 9 km/h. What's that translate to roughly in freedom units, Charles?
About 5.5 to 6.
Yeah,
so,
I'd say that. Yeah, it's gonna pick up a bit as well towards the end of the race. You know, it's gonna be a bit more gusty. You're gonna be more towards 10-mile-an-hour rains. You know, about 8 to 10. You know, 14 to 16 kilometers an hour in terms of the the metric system there for you. Well, buckle up, folks. Get ready. It's going to be a cracker. Do not go anywhere. What are we going to see? I don't know. You don't know. But that is the beauty of the Weekend Warriors. And then we throw rain into the mix. 57-car grid. If you need the loot, go now. Just 57. You know, and the crazy thing is, it's just an average day in the Weekend Warriors with that grid number.
Absolutely. Yes, we see it week in and week out. So yeah, we talked about it before the broadcast. You and I had both kind of done some practice sessions in the wet. Obviously, being week 13, iRacing is obviously heavily promoted the update here, and I want to give them I want to give iRacing a lot of credit because I was expecting a massive update. And they had a lot of their system files kind of preloaded, and so they were putting in pieces at a time. And so the update for this was minimal, in my opinion. I mean, it was basically, I think, 10 gig or something, which was, you know, in some standards is a lot because it had to update several cars. But for the most part, I was expecting a huge downtime as far as just getting files downloaded and updated. And it just didn't turn out that way.
Well, I mean, you look at AAA titles now, you know, you Call of Duties that are just breaking people's hard drives, you know, just it's literally, you know, on the previous gen consoles, that's the only game you have. It builds it up. But, well, enough about that. Let's get ready, folks. Should we take you through your grid for this evening? I think we're going to have to rattle through them because if they start on the back pit road again, which I think they have.
Mm-hmm. Take a deep
Right.
breath, Tim.
Here we go. Yang Lin gets pole position. Arrow Nom on the front row with him. Oh, that came in late, didn't it? On the Hardwick is Jean Pereira next to him on the front row. There's Overstreet and Tabino, row 3. Row 4, Ditchburn and McConnell. Top 10, DeGassius and Zachary Rivard. Duda Castro's got Jason Green on row 6 with him. Row 7, Tom Laurie. Oh, great qualifying from Tom there. Next to Jorg Marnie. Jerome Gazenveld. There's Christian Bank Company, row 7, row 8, row 9, Antonio Reyes and Chris Montgomery are two winners there in the previous round in the SRFs. Simon Mayer and Nick Aronson, another new name to the championship, ran out your top 20. Paul Godden of Sim Stickers, provided with the lovely trophies that are up for grabs today, is on row 11 with Marissa Roscoe. Snedden and Love, row 12. Row 13, a lucky son, let's hope not, for Phil Berry and Alan McCain. Bobby West and Jason Perry in all British, row 14. Well, row 15, it's Ford Tullow. Great to see that name back with Tim Staino. Ian Anson and Jim Brewster, an all-American row 16, row 17. Again, it's an all-American affair with Tyler Campbell and Caleb Pocock. Seth Spallman, as I didn't catch someone else with him. There we go, Paul Stevens. There we go. Lovely. Darren Gangi and Kurt Nunes are on row 19. Row 20 in top 40 is Tom Gradwell and Jeff Jakeson. Stevie Ray, the series organizer, thank you so much, Steve, for putting this on. It's next to Evandro Dantas. He is well down. Watch out for him coming through the field. Kerry Anderson and Brad Cathcart there on row 22. Row 23, Pedro Carvalho and Jeff Cantor. Porsche 911 safety car just gets away there. Tyler Herring and Paul Ellis take you up to 48th place from row 25. Eric Dumont and Paul Jackson. Brian Shaw and Stephen Healy on row 26. Row 27, Gary Walbolt and Carlos Navarro. The last complete row, row 28, is Brian Hansen and Jeff Richer with Jean-Paul Epé, 57th. Here we go,
Nicely done.
folks. Porsche 911 safety car is going to pull in. Well, it doesn't come in through the normal part. It leaves it nice and late. There that goes. Here we go. Yang Lin takes control of the pace. Let's get ready to go racing from Okayama in the rain for the first time in iRacing. As here come the lights. Who's going to claim victory? Let's find out together as we are green and we are racing, and they stream down a turn one. They're 3 wide. I think they're even 4 wide in the background. I think they're even trying to make it a 5 wide there. There's a spinner. That's Overstreet around. Is she going to collect anyone? I think she might be okay. She's off to the outside. There's a couple of other cars with her as they all change and chop around for position. I think Carlos Navarro might well have been one of them. Actually, no, it wasn't, was it? It was, I tell you what, it was our top Brit of this evening. Duda Castro's out as well. I think that was another one caught in it. So they all make their way through up towards Atwood Curve. You look down from the helicopter, from the blimp, and I tell you what, they're side by side. It's Lynn and Nom. You can just see them on the right-hand side there, as through all of the spray, making their way through here. Well, I mean, that could have been even bigger. It could have been even worse, couldn't it, at the start? It was Oscar Hardwick. That's the name I was scrambling to find that was caught up in all that.
Yeah, crazy start to this. And you saw them spread out, because I'm sure we'll get a cockpit view here at some point in the middle of this pack. You can't see anything if you're in the spray.
The spinner in the background. Tabino's gone. And Gansfeld and Jason Green involved too. There's cars connected with one another. I think there's 3 or 4 cars. Yankees come off the track. So's West, Love, Brzorowsko too. Snedden. Oh, this is, I tell you what, you start sliding. That's the thing. It's like the old iRacing grass. You cannot stop.
No. The iRacing grass in the wet is very similar to what it was in the dry several seasons ago. So yeah, it's a whole new thing to learn, and these guys are getting a really a real good lesson very early in this race. And I hate to see Gangi out. I was going to mention that that Sim Motion, who is one of the Esports sponsors. They've got 8 drivers on the grid today representing them, Sim Motion.
So it was spinning beforehand. The 11 caught up there, Charles. And oh, yeah, there you go. Just caught up in the midfield. I think it was Bobby West as well, potentially then coming back through. So into the pits, Charles, at the end of lap 1. Gazabel, Pereira, Snodden, Tabino. Well, there you go. Yeah, Tabino. That was the car up on the inside. Oh, and he caught the grass. Oh, there you go. There you go.
Just, you just can't catch those anymore like you did. We had to, now just craziness, just chaos.
This is what happened to Jason Green. You see him in that's the green livery there in the midfield. So it was a spinner in front of him, and well, you just can't slow up. Everyone snaking to it. Tony Race did well to avoid and not lose the rear end of the car. There's another driver carrying on there. Phil Berry's had a separate incident in the 888 machine. Not the best start to his Monday morning. Oh, the rear end just snapping and going on him. That long lazy spin. Oh, collecting other people on the way round. No way he could have got that one stopped. Nick R. Aronson, what happened to you? There he is in the 90. So he got collected. He was the last one to get collected by Phil Berry.
Yeah.
Well, that's thinned out the grid. Well, I say a little bit. We still have, 50 cars out on track going out this Hammer and Tom. Having said that, Evandro Dantas, despite being in the pits, he's heading back out again. So is Gary Walbolt. So other drivers heading into the pits. Simon Mayer. I mean, this is early stop. This is bold. This strategy. I think that's that Jim Brewster in the foreground coming out of the lane. I'm not too sure, but there's already a couple of drivers already a lap down, and we've only done 4 minutes exactly now out of the 40. 1/10 of this race complete. We got 9 tenths to go.
Yeah. The first 10% is done. We've still got 90% to go. So we see Ian Anderson there on screen with the sim motion livery. These cars don't have they have very little aerodynamic grip, so all the grip's mechanical. So now when you put them on a wet track, it's just that much more strain on the tires. Try to push that water out of the way so they can get some grip on the surface. And as you can see, it's a struggle for some people here.
That's Zachary Rivard. You mentioned about him as being one to watch out for, Charles. Real-world experience in the Formula Ford, and he's closed up that gap to Lynn and Nom, and he is past the latter of those two. I tell you what, we need to big mention is Tom Laurie, top of Masters, and he is loving the wet weather. He's in 6th overall. As per Spec 2, the current leader there, based on iRacing, Julian Ditchburn, but I'd say based on pace, that's not necessarily a true representation from the Canadian, running 4th overall. Not that our producer Josh, being Canadian, will agree with that one whatsoever. He is loving that right now. I tell you what, we could be on for, I think, our first ever in Weekend Warriors history. If you can stay in this fight, having a Spec 2 driver win overall. I mean, that would be something. Someone off in the gravel down at the first corner there. Is that, who is that? Is that Paul Jackson off? Potentially, yes, it is.
Yeah.
As he rejoins the track.
Ooh. So you almost want to take a deep. We're 5 or 6 minutes into the race, and you got to take a deep breath just from all the action that's already happened out on the track.
I know we're normally doing that around the 12-15 minute mark. So this is how Zachary Rivard took 2nd place. So 8 places he has now climbed. I mean, you think that's good. Stevie Ray's up 20th. 20 even. Lovely textbook move there. Down into the hairpin. Getting it done before Piper and Revolver, where you can really lose a lot of time there. You get caught side by side, and Lynn just needs to, try and manage this one a little bit. How much pressure can he absorb?
Yeah, I don't know. I've talked to Zach a couple of times this season after some race wins, and he talks about how, this car translates pretty well to the real world car, and he uses it a lot for, really learning a track and to prep for real life races. Obviously, I don't think he's driven at Okayama, but we have talked about him as he's raced at Road Atlanta and other places where SCCA runs quite a bit. So he's very, very adept at this sim racing, especially in the Formula Ford. and it shows every time he's out on the track.
Well, ironically, just before the race, I've just looked across the YouTube chat. He actually typed in chat saying, "I'm ready for the mass wreck in T1." Well, it didn't really happen. There was a bit of a coming together, but nowhere near what it could have been. I mean, I think some people might well have been expecting everyone to be taken out and end up in the gravel trap at turn 1. It didn't happen. We're away. This top 3 just opening up a gap over Ditchburn, 1.4 seconds the advantage. Brilliant on boards here. You can really showcase this. Well, it's contact, Lynn airborne, and Nom called up too. And McConnell now leads. And wow, people sent scattering. Laurie off into the gravel trap. Oh, Bruce having to get slowed right up race too. Oh, this is the treacherousness of the rain, isn't it? And now, look at it, this drag races are plenty going on down the back straight.
Yeah, we got a car tow in there, obviously too much damage. Yeah, I think if we asked Zach, he would probably want a do-over on that one. I think it was just a little too aggressive. Maybe got on the inside curb a little bit and kicked him back out into the track and caused that incident as we get the replay coming up here. Comes down through the S's, getting ready to come down to the hairpin, looks to the late move. Oh, and there's a puddle there on the inside, and I think that may have contributed to that also.
Yeah, just caught it aquaplaned and straight into Lynn. Ironically, Lynn still, despite being airborne and up on 2 wheels, still leads this one, but now by 2.5 seconds over Nom. Kabanka, well, like a phoenix, has risen up into the 3rd, the podium overall, at 13 places. But he has got a queue behind him. Antonio Race, 1.5 tenths through Mike Knight, and well, what's going to be through the last corner. That is tight. Laurie getting his elbows out. He's well involved. Oh, I'm loving this from Tom Laurie right now. Great to see him up. Rivard's there. Ditchburn involved too. As they spread across the track trying to find a clean sight of where the corner is. As Race is off. He carries on at turn 1. And Rivard's going to go right round the outside and easily just drive around Laurie. That better grip and momentum there to get the move done. Rivard up into 4th. Laurie remains 5th. Well, does he? Oh, no, he's just off. And is he going to avoid the wall? Yes, he does. So any further fatal damage. Oh, it's all happening. And we're not even we're pretty much quarter race distance. Here we go, Charles. I mean, I don't know if I can cope with this another half an hour.
It's crazy. It's it's exactly everything that we thought we would. Is we see Laurie there just catching the car as he got on the curb, the water standing, aquaplane, just did a great job to keep that off the barrier. Everything we expected and more. And this is going to be a very chaotic 40-minute race.
I don't think this is going to be. I think we're already past that stage well and truly right now, Charles. As we on board with Rivard, that is Kabanka moving to, driver's left. That's just trying to cover off that inside. But the trouble is, that's where the normal dry line is. Can Rivard drive right there on the outside? But then that forces Rivard onto the racing line. As he catches a couple of puddles on the inside, they remain side by side. Out of the exit of the corner, off of Hobbs, through Knight tentatively from the pair of them. And Rivard says, no, I've had enough of this. Backs out of it, allows Kabanka back in front, but they're struggling for grip. They're squirming under acceleration. And Ditchburn is the worry who's behind them, because he's watched it all unfold in front of him. Can he make any progress? Kabanka remains on the racing line. Rivard looks to have another look up the inside. Thinks twice about it, backs out of it. Ditchburn can't quite make progress here. He remains where he is as, again, another lunge on the brakes from Rivard. Can't quite get it done. Nowhere to go. They smash through the puddle on corner exit. Rivard's gone. Is he gone? No, he's kept it out the wall. Exactly how we saw Tom Laurie do it 2 laps. 1 lap, 2 laps ago? I don't know. I've lost track.
Yeah. So I'm going to, I guess, amend the earlier statement that there is still a little bit of grip out there in that grass. Not as much when it's in the wet, but still enough that when you get a little slide like that, you can keep the car straight and get back out on the track. Great catch by Rivard. This is crazy. It's, we haven't really talked about it, but there, as we were watching, professional guys that that have done this for a living in the past talk about, you know, alternate racing lines, for the fact that these guys are out on the normal racing line and still racing pretty hard, is a testament to their ability, but probably, you know, not the safest way around the track, if I had my guess, or the fastest. So they're all still kind of experimenting a little bit to find out where the fast line is and where they can go, and where they can't.
So that gap, Lynn to Nom, has compressed. It's down to, well, I was about to say a second. It's down to 8/10 now. As we're going to get a replay now of what happened at the start from the perspective of Tom Lorry. And it's the glitches. There we go. No. No, it's yearning under the system, yearning and groaning under the stress of trying to get it all through. Oh, wow. I said about that gap being 8/10, Charles. Scrap all that. We're down to 3/10 now. And I have to worry. Oh, the big drift from Yangji Lin there. And Nom now has closed that gap right up. He is right up, tucked up under the gearbox of Lin, who is struggling at this stage. And I have to wonder, is there any damage to that car? I mean, if it's floor damage, that's got to be a living nightmare right now in the rain. As he goes to the inside, and surely Nom is going to take control of this race here at Okayama. And oh, they come together. And they've slowed right up. I mean, they've got 7 seconds the advantage back to Kabanka. Nom says, right, I'm off. I'm just getting through this. I want to get away from you, Lin.
Yeah. Wow. It's even more so that, you know, when you see a car in front of you and he does slide, you know, you want to try and get around because you know that you've got pace over him, but then you just don't know if he's going to catch it or not. So now you have to worry about, is he actually going to be able to hold the car and recover it, or is he just going to keep aquaplaning right off the track, or spin it around it right in front of me? So it's another one of those things that we're going to have to learn as we move forward in these in this wet condition.
I do have to wonder, Charles, you know, those drivers that maybe have driven, you know, a fair bit of oval racing on the service, and when those big wrecks happen, I'm just trying to understand how cars move around and slide up and down the track. Is that going to pay dividends for some of them when it comes to rain and those people sliding? Oh, no, he's collected them. This aquaplane straight into the side of Kabanka. Oh, and Rivard toes to the pits. I think that could be his race done and dusted.
Yeah. Yeah, you could just see it. He came to the inside, went down the inside line, and just the front tires, you could see the front tires just lock. And it was just he's trying to cadence brake and see him release and just trying to get the car stopped, and just nowhere for Kabanka to go, and he's off in the gravel.
So Nom checking out here. He's 1 second the advantage over Lin. Ditchburn, third overall, but leading Spec 2. Masters, that's being led by Tom Lorry, who's 5th overall. He's having the race of his life here in the west at Okayama. Oh, there's Jason Green down in 19. He's won the Weekend Warriors Formula Ford Championship before. That's what you're up against here. It is the great equalizer, the wet weather. It's I tell you what, this has reset the pack and how we do racing. It's fascinating to watch. You know, you look down. You know, Yaltabino, he's electric. He's 22nd right now. You know, other great names further down through the field. Really strong contenders, and you know, you've got people who've it's just played into their hands beautifully, and. Yeah, Lin's into the pits. Okay, but the drivers do have to stop. I mean, he can go to the end comfortably on minute 16, can't he?
Oh yeah, for sure. Should be able to, because you know, you won't have you'll actually get a little better fuel mileage, but you still won't have enough fuel to finish the race without having to make a pit stop. So yeah, they'll have to come in, and 16 should be more than enough, you know, time to come in and get your fuel and then be able to finish the race without stopping. So Kabanka's in also.
Yeah, it's seeing how Tabino just having a couple of little spins there where he's formed out for the order. So it's really shuffling things around. Ian Anderson now up into third. He's up 28 spots in the 147 machine. Here's the American.
Well, his club says Northwest, which is
Podges into second, isn't he? He's up 29. Yeah. Dishburn's dropping places here.
Yeah. Laurie's
so
up to third.
He's come. Yeah, that's why I can see from our log, Charles. He's come off track, so that's why he's gone from second to fourth. Laurie, so there, look at that. We've got all three classes in the top three overall. So, I sound like Ian Anderson struggling to find a gear in there. Found one eventually, so he headed around the hairpin. I can't remember the last time we saw this.
Yeah, I was going to say if that's true, if he's Ian Anderson says he's in Club Northwest, which I think means Pacific Northwest, which he should be well and truly used to driving in wet weather. I think it rains up there as much as it rains in the UK.
That's up for debate. I don't believe anyone could rain as much as here. That's for sure. So, right, this is what happened to Ditchburn and why he lost all those places. So it's down at Atwood. Is he going to carry straight on? Yeah, couldn't get the car slowed up enough. And the Canadian falls off the podium overall. Ironically, still remains on the Spec 2 podium. Wow, we're not far off half of race distance here. And normally where we've got a real strong handle of how this one's panning out despite the large grid size, there is still a lot that can happen here with drivers. So the highest driver that has stopped is Jason Green. He stopped back on lap 5. We're currently on lap 11 right now. And he's fueled up and good to go to the very end. He's in 18th. That is one name to watch out for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Yangshi Lin. So actually, Lin is. So he pitted from second, didn't he? He was the second behind Nom. He's come out in 6th place, Charles. So again, that's another one just to keep an eye out for. But he's only had a short stop for what looks like just purely damage. Take his fast repair. Yeah. So, I mean, you were saying earlier on, weren't you? You don't use as much fuel in the wet. I'm guessing Lynn presumes he doesn't need any extra fuel to get himself to the end here.
Maybe not. Maybe he thinks he can make it without having to take fuel. We'll see. I'm not sure about that. I think that you do get a little better mileage because you're not full power on the track. Obviously, as nearly as much as you are in the dry. Because you're having to work the throttle a lot harder and you have to be a little more patient with your cornering and your braking. Because car does not stop as we've seen, does not stop nearly as well in the wet as it does in the dry. And so, yeah, I don't know. I think he may have to stop again. I don't think he's going to be able to make it, but I guess we'll find out in about 20 minutes or so.
I'll tell you what, we're at a semi-quiet point in the race. I can see sat there waiting patiently. Series organizer Stevie Ray retired back on lap 8. Stevie, just, if you're there, I hope you are, my friend. Try and describe what it's like out there.
Yeah, it's pretty slick. I had hoped to set it up for kind of a lighter rain to start with for a while, and then bring in the heavier stuff. But yeah, it's pretty epic and fun and crazy at the same time.
It's definitely come across like that on the broadcast, most certainly. I mean, large amount of cars out on track. I mean, is there any form of dry line starting to emerge? As we're just seeing Langshi Lin nearly get it all wrong at Atwood curve there. Again, not for the first time this evening either. I mean, I can't see any sort of dry line emerging. I mean, is it still pretty much raining quite hard out there?
Yeah, when I just got out a while ago, it was. I wasn't seeing any kind of dry line.
Wow. We will let you go and enjoy and stick your feet up for a bit. I'm sure we'll speak to you later on after the race. Commiserations. Tim Stano. Johnny, get it stopped. Tim Stano, how did you get that stopped? Wow.
That was about as out of control as you could be going into a corner and actually make the corner.
He arrived, well, sideways to the left, sideways to the right. It was like he was sambering his way down to the hairpin. Oh, what? What are we witnessing? What are we witnessing here? There we go, Josh. There we go, left, right, another go. Oh. And I thought, as soon as he hit that dip on the apex, I thought, right, he's gonna hit a puddle. It's gonna be game over for him. But no, Staino keeps his nose in the fight right now. Well, what else have we got going on here? Carlos Navarro and Andrew Love there having a good scrap there over 22nd place. Navarro up 31 spots. He is the highest position climber at the moment, and that's probably the most crucial words we'll say all night at the moment, because this, I think, is going to change a lot still.
I mean, it should be noted that there is a frog on the side of his car, and so pretty adept in wet weather, I would think.
That is riveting analysis there, Charles.
Yes, it was. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you. No worries, mate. No worries. Had to get a god-awful pun in there one way or another. In the wet from Okayama, I tell you what, it's pretty much monsoon season in real life. If you look back from Paul Godden, there is a car behind him. It is Tim Staino. Believe me, from the live timing, that he's actually there. Oh, a bit of a switch from Godden. We can see Staino now. Is he going? Is he going to save it like Staino did? And it's the latter.
Jeez, you could just see there's a point where you're going so fast that the tires will not cope with the water anymore, and I think both Staino and Godden have found that limit.
Well, producer Josh just saying in our ear to us both, this isn't calming down, and I think he's absolutely spot on. I can tell you there is a big weather front, a big red weather front right across the track right now, folks, and it's well, I think Josh absolutely spot on. It's getting wrong, and well, Staino's luck runs out. As Brewster says, I've had enough. I'm off to the pits, so I'm going to take my pit stop.
Yeah, it might be a good idea for Staino to take that pit entry. Yep, and then back out. I don't know if that's going to give him a penalty or not. We'll see. It looked like he was pretty close to the pit lane there, and sometimes iRacing will throw that that dangerous pit entry penalty at you just for seemingly random things. So we'll see what comes of that, if anything. New name up at the top.
Was that try? Well, there was no pit stationary time for Brewster, but this goes back to what you were saying earlier on. Do you need to stop? I mean, oh, that's Laurie. Is that Laurie into the wall? Yes, Laurie. It is. Yep. Oh, after the great run.
Green. Is that green?
Where? It is. Oh, well spotted. Behind the timing tower. Blended in there. What a spot. So there's nothing wrong with your eyesight, is there, Charles?
Yeah, I got my contacts in. I'm good.
There you go. There you go. I hadn't even clocked that one. So I'm not sure whether that was all part of a similar incident or not. Well, here we go. Producer Josh, he's on it. He knows the drill. Okay, that's a separate incident. So that's Bruce just running. Oh, so Laurie's already off. It's that puddle on the exit of the corner.
Yeah.
Well, I say puddle, it's more like a river, isn't it?
It really is.
Arcing around.
So one of the things I saw watching a lot of various streams with former professional racing drivers is there's a way to take these apexes in the wet weather. And obviously, that's probably not the way you want to do it. Just catches that puddle, breaks the traction, breaks the grip of the tires. Around he goes, up against the barrier. It's driving in the wet is completely different. As I said, we were talking about it before.
Oh, Charles,
as we get three wide.
They're not, thank goodness. It's only going to be two. Yep. But it is going to be Kabanka versus Stevens there. Kabanka's going to get it done into 8 for him. So Nom has, while we were just discussing that point, he has come in, driven through the pit lane, and come back out in the lead.
I will say this: that was a really good line through that corner by Stevens. He took it wide on entry, narrow on exit. He avoided that puddle on the outside. I think that's the way you really have to drive in the wet here. At least everything I've heard. I see you said we were talking about it before the broadcast, and one of my really high rated drivers in my team said, you learn how to drive these race cars at the limit of what iRacing's gives you. You're on the curbs, you're on the white lines, you're trying to use every inch of the track, and then when you get to a wet track, all that just goes out the window. You can't drive on paint, you can't drive on curbs. You really have to avoid a lot of stuff. You're taking alternate lines on the track, and so basically it's just a relearning process.
It is a totally reloading progress, a recalibration of the mind. Fortello comes in from third. The Japanese driver that's down pit road. And, I mean, I'm not sure. It's been fascinating to watch all week long. You see the LMP2s be as quick as the LMDHs in terms of the prototypes.
Uh-huh.
It's just throwing everything up in the air,
and that's just a drive through for Tolo as well. Interesting.
So he's going to come out right in front of Kabanka. Well, no, he's not, and I think Stevens going to try and drive right around the outside of him, finding a bit of grip there. He's going to have to change his line. He can't take that wide entry in. He's going to have to try and tighten up that exit. And Kabanka just catching that river. A little bit of a twitch on corner exit out of Williams for him, but he got away with it.
No.
Oh, as I say that, well, it's getting all the more tricky. So Alan Degassi is his second. He is yet to stop. Who else is yet to stop? Paul Stevens, who we can see on our screens right now. Tim Staino yet to stop. Kurt Nunes as well. And that is your lot, folks. So we reached 29 minutes and 20 seconds. I don't know what the strategy is. Michael McConnell, despite a 2-minute pit stop, has risen through the order and got himself into 16th. A rare occurrence where we've had everyone up until and including... I think this is going to change slightly, actually, come the end of the lap. I think Kerry Anderson in 24th has been lapped. We'll find when it recalibrates the system after the end of the lap. We'll have that fully confirmed for you. Yeah. Welcome to the rain.
Welcome to the rain. And Aeronami is just quietly just kind of driven off and just, has got a 12.5-second lead over DeGassis, who's still yet to make his drive-through stop. So we'll see how that works out and see where he drops back to. It was, obviously you talked about Aero at the beginning of the race, how he just seems like he's always up near the front, and it seems like that is the case in the rain as well as it is in the dry.
And you see from these onboard shots, just what drivers can see. I mean,
if you're behind that car, you can see nothing. That's what you can see. All you can see is this very large, basically cloud of rain that's just completely obstructed your vision. You just can't see anything. It's just, I'm just kind of working his way through that corner. I had a little adjustment there as he's still finding puddles on the track. You see it right there in the apex. The water's just kind of puddled up, makes taking those very difficult, as we've seen throughout the entire race.
Yes. I mean, he's just trying to stroke this one. I mean, the thing is, he's got to try and bring it home, but he's got, this is the thing. Dry weather, he wins this by a country mile. He just strokes this one home. But, yes, he's got to lap cars. He would do in the wet. However, if they start losing in front of you, as we've seen, there's nowhere for you to go.
No.
You could lose this through no fault of your own.
Absolutely true. Yes, everything's amplified in the wet. It's because you just can't get the car stopped. You can't change directions as quickly as you normally could. So if you get a car that's sideways on the track and it's still moving, you know, it's basically just you could just put a blindfold over yourself and you'd have as much success as if you were actually trying to move the car around and avoid contact.
Well, unless you're Tim Stainer, you like drift your way down to the hairpin and get it stopped in time inside some creative brilliance as Lynn trying to make his way past Ian Anderson right now. Anderson's top runner in Spec 2. And up for grabs one of those trophies. He's up 27 spots. He has stopped as well. Needs to bring this one home. Ditchburn isn't far behind though, so could take that away from him. He's only 1.5 seconds down the road behind these guys. There you go, you can see him in the background there in the 393 machine. I mean, they love us there. Canada versus the USA. I mean, that's probably starting off a fight between my, commentator and our producer. Should we move on from that one?
Oh no, car off the track. I saw a car off. Yongqi Lin.
Yes, yeah. Oh, that's damage.
Yep.
Oh. He's trying to reverse his way out by... As producer Josh saying, rightly so, you can get stuck in the gravel now. You can see the skid marks.
I was going to say, yeah, you see where he basically just went straight through the corner. The car just never turned.
The thing is, with these big grids, it's impossible to find a way back onto the track. So, but there you go. Can't see anything in front of him. I'm guessing just, the big puddle being hit there.
Yep. He just, that would have worked probably 10 times out of 10 in the dry. You just can't do it in the wet. As you see in this struggling, as our producer Josh said in our ear, is that you can't actually get stuck in that gravel now. With the wet weather adding to the I guess the friction coefficient of that surface. So, you know, he had to work hard just to get the car backed up and try to get back on track.
Right, sit rep, where are we in this race? Well, we've got a battle for 6 ensuing. Kabanka, Stevens and Tolo. Throw a blanket over those guys. Nunes, Laurie and Pereira. We're all embroiled in a battle too. Well, actually, having said that, they've all just broken up a little bit. Actually, Laurie going for a bit of a move there on Nunes and maybe getting it done. Just seeing off camera, they're switching around a little bit. So seeing here, but it's normally you see people pull out like that. You're like, we're not fazed by that sort of stuff. You see it all the time, but you never know if someone's going to snatch a break and just carry straight on. It keeps us all guessing so much.
Yeah, we've seen it several times already where you just pull out there and then there's a puddle that you're not expecting, and the next thing you know, brakes are pretty much useless because you don't really have any contact with the track anymore. You're just basically skidding across the surface of the water, and the next thing you know, you're trying to back out of a gravel trap.
Right. Oh, West is into the pit, so that's going to knock him off the podium overall. It's going to promote Anderson. Degassis, according to my record, still yet to stop as we're, 4.25 minutes remaining here. There goes Stevens. I mean, realistically, if you don't need fuel, he could leave it right into the, the penultimate lap to head down pit road. There's nothing stopping him doing that. Tim Stainer also gets stopped that day too.
No, I'm going to correct you. That was one rule that I did remember reading is you have to take that drive-through before the final lap. So,
that's why I said penultimate.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah,
the one before the final lap. Yeah.
So we all agree. It's just a little lost in translation.
I'm from Alabama. What do you mean?
Well, and I'm English, and apparently you all talk like the Queen. So
Well, we all all three of us speak English from different countries, and so half the time we can't understand what each other's saying. But it's all good. We'll get there.
Yeah, it's that damn British English getting in your way again for you, isn't it? Right, we're seeing Jeff Jacobson in a replay. Oh, that's why we're seeing Jeff Jacobson, and that is a rear right gone. Oh, I think bit of netcode popping it back into place like a dislocated shoulder.
Yeah, just I think he found that puddle and I think he caught it and then just lost it again, and that was a hard hit into that barrier.
Well, I mean, these tyres made by Avon. Ironically, there's a river in the UK, and it is like a river out there. But I don't know about you. Am I seeing a bit of sunshine breaking through? It was in the.
It definitely looked lighter. Right there. Yeah, a little bit lighter. I would agree with that.
It's. I mean, it's going to be too late for this race. I mean, we've only got not even 2.5 minutes remaining here. Well, 17 seconds clear of absolutely everyone. Yeah, we're out of the big weather shower, Charles. It's looking a lot calmer now. Let's have a look at the weather radar. So yeah, that's why it's looking a little bit brighter out there at the moment.
I'm going to guess the gas assist's got to come in this time. Or did he leave it too late?
Surely. Or has he not read the rules properly?
Well, he is American, so it could have got lost in translation.
Well, I mean, yeah. Touche. I tell you what, it's treacherous, isn't it? Just seeing that little bit of a snap of understeer from Degasius as he tries to clear. Who's that? The 998 of Paul Ellis just in front of him, and these are treacherous moments for the American, your Masters leader. As he pulls the driver's right, and there you go, Charles. You called it right. He's into pit road. Yeah,
come in and get this drive through on the penultimate lap, and so he can go out and finish the race, and we'll see where he comes out. Like he's going to drop a couple spaces for sure, maybe just 2 spots, so maybe drop down to 4th.
Crucially, though, I believe. Oh, where is it? Jim Brewster. Spoke to him earlier on after the Formula Fords. Wrote a podium in that. Could be. I don't know if he's going to be close enough to try and snatch it away from him. On board with Kabanka, who heads past Bobby West, or does he? He's on our left-hand side somewhere. There he is. There's the Brit, who's trying to drive it all the way around the outside. The drag race to Williams.
Be careful here.
It's on the outside, and that's where Kabanka is, though.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a safe place to be. Is it on the inside? Is it on the outside? Kabanka back in front of West now, though. So we head down towards Atwood. Yeah, it's definitely getting brighter out there. Starting that shine across all the surfaces. And the sun coming out to play. I tell you what, we're on. I just looked at the clock, Charles. This is white flag. This is one to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
West's got the run as well. Here we go. We're going to send it all the long way round the hairpin. Can the Brit get it done? Onto the brakes. Kabanka fights back, though. He's clinging on by the skin of his teeth as the checker flag's out. Aeronom's going to win this. There he goes. 27 seconds over Ian Anderson. He's going to surely pick up second and overall at the win in Spec 2. But no, that's not done. That's Ditchburn right behind him. Spec 2's going to come right down to the wire. Well, we thought we got an interesting battle behind them. It's all happening here. Who's going to get the best run off the final corner? Here we go. And I tell you what, Anderson, just a bit of a twitch on entry. Here comes Ditchburn. It's going to be the run to the line, but I think he's going to be too far back, Charles. Yes, Ian Anderson is going to take that Spec 2 a victory. Right, what's happening in that Kabanka West Tullow battle? They look pretty close from the timing tower. Well, in fact, I'd say it could be Tullow who snatches this one away from West at the line. West just shapes up a little bit defensive, but no, he holds on to that one. Next one we've got to look at, Godden, McConnell, Stevens. They're all very close together as they're coming through Mike Knight and the final corner. And it's McConnell who could take this away from Godden. That last place inside the top 10. McConnell in the slipstream. He's going to pull out. There's going to be a drag race. Can he nick it from him at the death? And no, he can't. And who's going to... half a tenth between Godden and McConnell.
Wow, great battle all the way to the end.
And Jean Pereira just set the fastest lap of the race. The Brazilian, he's going to finish 14th. by a considerable margin as well, by the looks of things. 145.38. Next best one I can see is a 46.5 by Nom.
That's pretty impressive. That's a fast lap in the wet.
Where have you been hiding? Where has he been hiding that all race long? I mean, producer Josh is saying that puddle has gone, hasn't it, off of William? Yeah, it has just disappeared. I mean, this is really interesting but everyone concerned how quickly this track seems to be drying up now. The sun's starting to come out, even though it's still raining out there. And I think, if we to run another 20 minutes or so, I think the way it's going at the moment, we're going to see a dry line emerge. But well, we're not. Checker flags out, and we're done.
Oh, what a wild race! This is going to be this is the beginning of probably the craziest iRacing season that I've seen since I've started the service.
I mean, dare I say it? In the history of sim racing. I mean, yes, I know we have rain in other series, but the way that iRacing is so, heavily populated with its online service, you do have to wonder, don't you? When it's wow. I mean, hats off to the guys at iRacing and what they have done. And yeah, it's been a long time going, but wow. If it's what we've going to be like what we've just witnessed, then I think it was more than worth the wait.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's about the 20th deep breath I've taken today. I mean, is you calling for a deep breath after 2 minutes and 30 seconds in, or whatever it was? Or was it 4 minutes? I can't remember. It seems like an eternity ago now. What have we just witnessed there? I'm lost for words. I'm gone.
Yeah, it's just it's a brand new day. As far as iRacing goes, this is going to be the first of, like I said, probably the craziest thing we've seen in sim racing in forever. And I'm going to throw this out there. I did hear that from one of the iRacing, Greg West, who I think is one of the uppity ups there at iRacing, is there are more changes still to come with the rain, where you'll start seeing the spray on your helmets if you're driving an open face car, which hasn't been implemented but will be in the future. So that'll add a brand new level of realism for these guys that are in the Formula Fords. So that's something to look forward to as well.
You see in the replay at the starts here, on board with Jim Brewster. Well, I mean, it's always wild in these big grid races to start. Then you make it rain, and it's even more crazy. These beautiful cinematic shots that producer Josh just giving us now. Just soak it all in, literally and metaphorically. It's well, you just have to wonder, what's Nürburgring 24 hours going to be like? Middle of the night and it starts raining. I mean, well, it's taking this sim to a whole new level. I suppose we should have some results, and we'll have I can see there's a queue of people sat waiting in the waiting room, Charles, ready to speak to us. I'll tell you what, should we enjoy some more of these cinematic shots while we have a chat to some of our drivers?
Absolutely.
We'll worry about the results later. We know Aaron won by a country mile. Of which, I'll tell you what, let's talk to him. Aaron, congratulations. I mean, we're lost for words. It was wild and crazy. Charles needed to take a deep breath after 4 minutes into this race. Just describe, what was that like?
Yeah, very burnout. Especially start was very hard because if you mess up a little bit the braking, you come like a cannonball, and like it happened in the turn one. So yeah, I think the start was the most difficult one.
And we saw, we saw incidents at Atwood Corner, before you come onto the back straight, which you got caught up with. It was at Yangshi Lin, and I'm trying to remember who the other driver was at the time. I think it might have been Oscar Hardwick or Zachary Rivard. I can't remember quite.
Yeah, it was Zachary.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? You know, it's so hard to slow the car down to avoid those sorts of incidents. You just feel like a real passenger. I mean, especially when it came to coming back through, lapping the traffic, something that, I'm sure something that never normally phases you, but it must have been a big worry for you coming through, the lapping the cars, because you don't know if they make one mistake, then that's it, your race is over.
Yeah, definitely. That's why I tried to maybe brake in different line and see on the mirror where they are when I start braking. But yeah, that was different again.
Well, I mean, congratulations. Not a bad day at the office for you. I mean, we're going to see you next season in the Formula Fords again?
Yeah, definitely.
Good stuff, good stuff. Congratulations, Aaron, your winner here today. Charles Michel, who are you taking a pick of next up?
Well, I want to bring Jim back up, because I want to get a contrast between the first race and the second race. Jim, so now that you've been out there for 40 minutes in the wet, what do you think?
Well, I qualified 32nd, which was depressing because every lap in qualifying kept going faster and faster and faster, and I'd go like 13th, 31st, 14th, 31st, and then I ended up, so that was a bummer. And then I got hit from the behind, and I did a spin on the second lap, and then I just plugged away, and it was a lot of fun. It was, we did a lot of practicing. We did a Friday night party. We normally do it with the V's, but we did it with the Formula Fords this week. We did 2 hours of practice in the rain, so we've had a lot of track time. And what did you guys think?
Chaos. I mean, I did a little bit of practice this weekend with my team as well, but we were doing it in the IMSA cars, and it's just completely different than anything that you would normally do in the dry.
Well,
it's just a brand new thing.
The Formula Ford can find traction anywhere. I mean, it's just a pure racing car. You got 1,000 pounds, and it's just amazing. It's a little spider. It's like a water bug, and it can find traction anywhere. So yeah, it's an excellent car.
No, I completely agree. But I did notice that there were a couple of instances we saw, I think, with Tim Staino, where you get to a certain speed in that car, even on the straightaway, and you start squirming like crazy.
Oh, big time. Yeah. It's a lot like, hey, I grew up driving in the snow in a 510, and I think that's, what this was. This is like driving in the snow in my old Datsun 510. No, what was really crazy, if you dared hit the brake pedal at over 100 when the puddles were deep, the noise from the brake lock, the hydroplaning, was deafening. It was like bang, 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 but that's how you knew for sure when you heard that big loud sound, you were in serious trouble.
Yeah, I think we saw that a couple of times as well.
I called them the hydroplane darts, because every once in a while somebody would just go flying past you into the gravel.
Yeah, I mean, I think we saw Yongshi going down into the hairpin. There's a little puddle on the inside of the corner there, and I think he caught it on full brakes, and basically the car just went straight into the wall.
Oh, it doesn't matter. It could have been 10% brakes. No, the gearbox was your friend. In fact, I was upshifting extra some places just so I got an extra downshift, because the downshifting was magical braking and deceleration.
Well, there you go. Hey, top tip from Jim Brewster.
Hey, it's, like I said, that's in 510 snow driving.
There you go. Thanks, Jim.
Hey, thanks for you guys. I can't wait to watch the show. Hi, Tam.
All right.
See you guys later.
Yeah, hi, Tam. Yeah, you're gonna hear a lot of new noises from Tim and myself during the course of the broadcast.
Sweet. Can't wait.
Excellent. Let's have a little chat with Dudu Castro. We did have the best of races today. Did you, Dudu? I mean, getting caught up. I saw you put it in YouTube chat as was it turn 1 shenanigans or something like that?
No. It was. I had a great race, the first one for the Spec Racer Ford. I didn't do too much practice, so I was quite a bit afraid if the setup that I had from, I think, Tsukuba or Willow Springs would work there, and it did. And the only thing that I think I had a little bit better than João had a really good pace, probably better than I did, was the pit entry. So then I focused on that, and that helped me, and I got the 1.7 seconds ahead of him, and so I got a little bit calm with that. But then on the Formula Ford, I got a victim from Megan's spine. She spun, and then the guy outside just ignored myself, and then he turned towards to me, and then just took me out of the race. But I wouldn't go further because I didn't know I had to put more fuel, so I would have to pit stop to refill. So that was the issue.
Well, I mean, as you were describing it, our producer Josh, that pretty much synced up the replay exactly as you, the image is showing it just as you were explaining it there. I mean, talk about just put us inside the car. You know, you're in the middle of the pack nearly. You know, so you got plenty of cars in front of you. There's not a lot of room to maneuver around in the dry when it's like that. Then when you can't see because of the spray, how do you try and pick out your brake markers and just normal racing things to know that obviously, you know, when you should stop and where to move and where to turn in, because it looks like near impossible.
Yeah, no, this car was not doing too much spray. When we were driving was pretty much okay. And what I was doing, and I think what everybody was doing, was like not staying exactly behind the car, just move a little bit to the one side or to the other side, and then we keep seeing the physical reference that we can do the braking. So this car is so funny to drive. It's not my specialty, but I had a pace on the practice. I had a pace on the quali too, but I had to do the last 10 minutes of the quali with a broken car, because if I go back to the pit, I don't have time to warm up the tires and everything again. So it was fun. It was fun. I just wish to stay more on the race, but I couldn't.
So do you think going forward, you know, especially in terms of qualifying, where, you know, we have like an open 20-minute qualifying normally in this series, if it's going to be wet, it's better just to fuel up the car and stay out there the whole time and just, you know, go faster and faster as the session goes on, rather than, you know, maybe do 2 or 3 stints and with, you know, have fractured tires, because you've got to, like you say, you've got that issue of trying to build up the heat in the rubber again. So it's better to stay out, you know, fuel up and stay out for the whole session? Or do you see yourself maybe, you know, doing 2 or 3 stints still?
Yeah, different than the Spec Racer. You do 1 lap and then go back to the pit. This one, you need to stay on track. As much as you stay on track, faster you get. So for me, I had like 6 minutes up to the end, and the guy just hit me. I had like a sideways wheel that I couldn't do anything. So I decided to stay, and I improved my lap a little bit, but of course was not a lap that I could do with a perfect condition car. So yes, that's best to stay on track as much as you can. Set a fuel for the size of the session. I never raced with this car before. I didn't know we could change the fuel. So I did the quali with the full tank, like 3/4 of a tank, and I was gonna race with 3/4 of a tank too. So for that I was gonna need to pit. So it's a learning. You know, I'm rookie on this category, so it's good. But I think it's if I race more here, I'm gonna have fun here too.
Definitely. Well, commiserations didn't get better for you in the race, but congratulations for the victory earlier on in the Spec Racer Ford. Dudu Castro there.
Thank you, sir.
For you. Charles, you got a pick of 2. Paul Godden, Spire of a Lovely Trophies, or series organizer Stevie Ray? Which one do you pick?
We always like to save Stevie for last, so let's talk with Paul. So we'll bring Paul in. Paul, P10 in the race. Congratulations. How was running in the rain?
Yeah, evening guys. Yeah, no, I really enjoyed that. That was some of the best fun I've had on iRacing in a very long time, and overall I thought the driving standards, considering it's the first wet race that we've done, were very good as well. So, and to get a top 10 just rounds it all off really, and I'm not sure if I won the class or not. I need to have a look, but yeah, top 10 was, I wanted a top 20, but to get a top 10 I was over the moon with that.
There you go. So no, I don't think you won class. I think there was a couple guys in front of you there, but still a great run. And obviously we'll talk about the other part of this is you're, I think, the owner of Sim Stickers. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes.
All right,
Yeah.
so, and obviously providing some very nice hardware for the winners of the race this afternoon. So if you want to go ahead and just kind of pitch your business there, I'd like to hear about it because I think they look fantastic from the photos I saw.
Yeah, what I said to Stevie is because the Weekend Warriors was where I started all my sim sticker business about 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago now. I said to him as a thank you for it, I will give a trophy to first place in each class in the SRFs and the Formula Fords. And they'll get a personalised metal trophy, which will have an image of their car from today's race, a little plaque on it with their name and some logos and stuff, and they will be posted out to them. So over the next week, I'll get in contact with each of the drivers to get their addresses, to get them all sorted out and shipped out to them. And then the business sim stickers, we don't only do trophies. The main thing we do is stickers for wheels and button boxes and keyboards. So I do a couple of skins and stuff like that as well, but it's mainly the smaller stickers when people want to sticker up their buttons so they know what they've got on their steering wheels or button boxes. And we've got a very large range of stickers to suit most people's needs, and if we can't suit their needs, we do full custom designs as well. They just need to get in contact with me on you can find all the information at simstickers.co.uk, or you can contact myself on Discord or in iRacing, and yeah, I can chat to the guys and sort you out with stickers.
Absolutely, that sounds fantastic. I'll have to check that out after the broadcast myself. And
yeah, always have to
looking at some new things there. So Paul, thank you very much. Congratulations on a good result in this just a massive grid, and so it's good to talk to you.
Yeah, cheers guys. Thanks very much.
All right, thank you.
Well, some may say saving the best till last. Stevie Ray, series organizer. Wow,
Good afternoon, guys. How was that?
I mean, yeah, that was something, my friend. That was something. You know, we've had. I mean, I thought New Hampshire Roval earlier in the season couldn't be beaten, but wow, I mean, just what? I mean, these races are always crazy. You know, you see the clips in iRacing top 10s and compilations so often, but this was a whole new level on top of that.
Wow, that's good to hear. I mean, that's what it was supposed to be. It's just something different and epic and something that's never been done. I'm guessing that was the largest open wheel rain race that iRacing has seen yet. So it was a lot of fun. I wish I could have made more of it, but that's the way it goes in racing.
Well, I tell you, I'm going to jump in here, Tim, and say, Stevie, this is Charles. No, I was telling Tim, you know, we've seen Zach Rivard, real world Formula Ford driver, in the Tuesday night series, you know, just fantastic driver. And then, you know, he climbs up the field and then just makes a very simple mistake going into the hairpin, which is just something we haven't seen out of Zach. And so obviously the learning curve is going to be pretty steep for the average iRacer coming out here to try and run in a series that's going to have wet weather.
Yeah, it is. And we had some talk in some of the chats about how the real world guys that had experienced rain and kind of knew what to expect was going to compare to just the sim racers that had never experienced it. So a little bit of different feelings and what to expect, and said some of the real world guys, but like you just said, he didn't make it. So
I mean, anyone who's watched this and thought, how can I be a part of this? What's the best way to get in contact, Stevie?
Yeah, the leagues, the Formula Ford League, Spec Racer Ford League on Sundays, we've got they both have separate leagues. SRF Weekend Warriors, FF 1600 Weekend Warriors on iRacing leagues. Look it up. There's a esportsracing.com website, and I've got pages for all the leagues to show up. That's where our points and the schedule and everything is. I got to set up our new schedule this week, so that'll be coming out. But I want to thank everybody that showed up today. This was something new, something unexperienced yet. And I mean, I had 70 people on the list for the Formula Ford list before the race started. So I love everybody signing up and wanting to be a part of it. Really appreciate it. Got to thank Paul Godden you just had. He's going to send out trophies to the winners. Sim Motion, those guys. Darren Ganji supports the Tuesday Night League Formula Ford as well as iRacing Formula Fords, and he had his whole team there. I mean, 8 of them or something. So it was awesome. But thank you guys. But I mean, and I tell you every week, it's the guys on track that makes our league, makes this such a great thing. One person can't take all the credit for it. I can set it up, but those guys make it what it is. So.
Yeah. So Stevie, I know when we talked at the end of after week 13 on the Tuesday Night League, there was going to be some discussion about maybe changing away from Formula Ford, Formula V on that multi-class race because of the rain factor involved.
Yep.
Has that been settled, or have you made a decision on what's going to happen there?
No, that's still kind of up for debate. Kind of leaning towards the Formula Ford since we can have the rain, but then the other 2 classes don't. So we're still kicking that around for the Tuesday night SCCA League.
Understood.
Well, Stevie, congratulations on putting on, making it possible for an absolutely epic spectacle. I don't think that even really truly does it justification of what we've just witnessed. Thank you and congratulations. 10 years in the making, 40 iterations. What a way to celebrate your big birthday.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. Thanks, Charles. Appreciate you guys. Joshua behind the scenes, all you guys do. Really looking forward to a new season and seeing some weather changes in the league races.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure. Well, series organizer Stevie Ray there. Should have a quick run through the championship standings. Not into that, but race results here for the most craziest race I've ever witnessed. The hundreds of races that I've ever commentated on the iRacing service. vRunoffs took the victory, 27.5 seconds. What a winning margin. Ian Anderson, Spec 2 driver, second on the podium overall. Ditchburn just couldn't quite get close enough at those closing stages to take that away from him, but he still finishes third on the podium overall. Anderson, incidentally, up 29 spots. He wasn't even our biggest position climber either. Aldegasius, he picks up the Masters of Victory. Congratulations to him, 4th overall. There was Kabanka, West, Tholo, Brewster, Staino, Godden, Paul Godden, we spoke to earlier, the owner of Sim Stickers. Squeezing inside the top 10 there, half a 10th of margin between himself and McConnell, who had self 11th in the end. Stevens, 12th. There was Perry Pereira. Laurie, who, gutty for him, he was in the chance to finish on the podium overall. Carvelo Short, who was our joint highest position climbing, he was at 34. Spallman, Nunes was also up 34 himself. No, he wasn't, apologies. It was Carlos Navarro who finished in 20th. It was also at 34, so those are 2 highest climbers. Then there was Cathcart. You see how dominance here. Spallman 1 lap down himself in 18th. First time we've seen that sort of level of dominance. Cathcart 21st. There's Ellis, Anderson, Aronson, Lynn. Gutting for him. Couldn't have taken the fight all the way with Norm, but that incident really costing him dearly of that damage. Green, another one, fallen by the wayside in 26th. Love, Antonio Race. Some big names down here. Snedden, Herring in 30th. Then it was Mayer, Walbot, DeMond. Was a Roscoe, who was 2 laps down, so was DeMont and Jacobson in 35th. Phil Berry, 2 laps down in 36th. Paul Jackson, 3 laps down. Then into the retirement, 38th was Tyler Campbell and 39th Healy. Tabino rounding out the top 40. We lost him on lap 4, incidentally. Who else have we got then? Gazenfeld, Cantor, Gradwell, Rivard, who we saw in that big incident with our leaders. McCain, Ray, Hanson, Montgomery. Order. Who else have we got? Let's have a little look on my other screen. Overstreet, Pocock, Dantas, Hardwick. Oh, it's good we lost Hardwick so early on as well. Castro, Ganji, with Epe and Fritcher. not making the start. And that is everyone, 57 cars in total, but that is, well, more than enough excitement for. We've gone well over, but I think it's more than justified. What a race. What an evening of motorsport and sim racing. Thank you very much for joining us and being part of it from everyone here at Apex Racing TV. Myself, Tim Cox, Charles Michelle, and Josh Wilkie. This has been the Rennsport Racing League 2024 40th anniversary, 40th iteration, 10-year anniversary of the Weekend Warriors Runoffs. Thank you very much for joining us. Goodbye.
Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.